Truth, really that's all we know. Keep it real and authentic, this truth be told. Only the truth. Tune in, cause you gotta watch. It's like you with us while we kick it in the barbershop. Here to motivate and inspire. Hosted by the real deal and the God Barber. I hope that you ready, keep it funny and edgy. Let's go. You already know. Truth be told, let's go.
Hey, we got another season. This is season 15 of Troof Be Told, and we happy to be back, man. We spent what? I mean, Green, we spent quite some time off. And like every time when we go on break, you know, something go on. Something happen in between break. But just so you know, I'm happy to be back. And the way that we doing things now, I think it's going to be key. So just let you guys know this is real deal. I'm one of your hosts. I got my boy, the T Green, the God Barber, and also Desi, whatever she want to go by, Desiree. Is in the building tonight. How y'all doing, though, man?
Well, you gonna keep calling Desiree Dizzy, huh?
At some point, he'll get it right.
You gonna get it right?
Yeah.
Real, we back, man. We back.
Yeah.
We back, man. We back. Season what? 15?
Season 15, baby.
Real, we've been putting it together, boy.
Yeah, we've been putting it together.
Real.
And I'm excited about this season because we're doing something new. So I'm really excited about it.
Real, I forgot to be honest with you, real. This ain't really what I want in the world, but I forgot to get me a shirt that was a little bigger. I feel snug, man.
Hey.
You been in that gym?
Yeah, I've been in the gym, man, but my stomach, I ain't even gonna work out on my stomach, though. I did arms. And I did little calves.
Right.
I ain't do no stomach, though,
You
man.
ain't do no stomach?
No, man. I ain't do no stomach, man. But sure, I don't care. I'm 54 years old. I feel good, though, real.
Green, what you always say? This our show.
Yeah, this is my damn show. I don't give a damn shit. Don't look where I look, man. No, don't turn it. No, y'all stay home. I'm about to tell y'all to go somewhere, but y'all stay home. Y'all stay home, man. But yeah, real, we back, man. We back for real. I'm happy we back, man. So we got a good show tonight, man.
Yeah, man.
Good show tonight, man.
Desiree, what's up with you? You good?
I'm good.
Boy, look at Desiree. Boy, Desiree got some eyeshadow on today, boy.
Wait a minute. So that's what we doing? That's what we doing?
I'm just saying.
No. That's not what we doing. Move along. I'm great. Thank you.
Move along.
That's what we doing.
All right. Well, listen,
Season
man.
15, you feeling some kind of way.
Well,
okay.
One way that I am feeling is I need some subscribers.
All
you
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So listen, man. If you out there and you tune in tonight, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We can always use some more people to tune in. We trying to grow that number. We just reached 1,000, man. We got to get to 2,000 now. You know, once you hit one landmark, you got to get to the next one, right?
Yeah, so we going for 2,000.
Or 2,000.
Yeah.
So make sure you be one of the ones that help us get to that 2,000. Hey, I'm ready to go, man.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Tonight, we got a special one.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different because see, you know, it's some history. It's some history with this guest, man.
I'm trying to tell you,
and not only is it history, but when he came back down this way, or when he got to this way, he decided to join forces with the forbidden. You know, Green, did you tell? Why you? Green, you didn't even tell him. You just let him do it.
Yeah, man. It's over for us, real man. Man, you know, Southeast ain't the same no more, man.
You're right.
I still love the school, man. But boy, what good.
Boy, Southeast ain't the same
Oh.
because see, Desiree let her son go over there, so
Dead.
evidently
Dead.
it ain't the same. We don't got the same pool like we had back in the
Yeah.
day.
And you didn't let your son go over there either.
All right, let's go. Today on Troof Be Told, man. Listen, we thrilled to have this guy as our guest, man. Coming from Georgia, man. All-state football player selected in the annual Florida versus Georgia All-Star game. Attended University of Florida, 3-year letterman. Two-time SEC champion. A consensus first-team All-American in 1997. 1996 national champion. Drafted 34th overall in the second round by Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Played for several other teams. And now he's entering his 4th year as the head coach of Manatee High Hurricanes. We're proud to introduce the one and only. Welcome to the show, Jacquez Green.
Jacquez.
Shay, what's up, baby?
What's up, man? I appreciate you guys having me on. You know, we've been trying to get over here for a while to get on the show. Finally worked out.
Yeah.
We're both our schedules, so I'm excited to be on here tonight.
Man, listen, you excited.
Yes, sir, boy.
I'm
We
excited.
got
Man,
boy.
football season is here. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk football, you know.
We got to, boy.
You know, so football season. But before we even get into that, you know, I hinted to some in the intro about, you know, you joined forces with the Forbidden. But truthfully, you know, it's a well-respected school here in Manatee County.
Yeah.
And we are always, you know, we just have that competitive nature in us when it comes down to a particular school. So, you know, as I watched you on the sidelines, I've seen you garner that red, blue, and white. So we going to talk football, all right? But before we talk Manatee football, your football stuff started back in Georgia.
Yeah, I'm originally from Georgia. Most people think I'm from Florida, you know, because I've been here so long. I've actually been in Florida every year of my life since graduation, except for one. And so I'm originally from Fort Valley, Georgia, which is right in the dead center of Georgia, right off I-75. A little small town, about 8,000 people. But we live and breathe football in Fort Valley, you know. In Georgia, they have the Super 11, which is the top 11 players each year in Georgia. And we have more Super 11s than any high school in the state of Georgia. And we're one of the smallest high schools in the state of Georgia. So we live, eat, and breathe football where I'm from.
Wait, hold on. Is this show back in the day, that show, like, it was like Football Town or something like that? Was your school featured in that?
Probably was, no, I think it was Valdosta. We went to
Valdosta.
Valdosta.
Okay.
Valdosta.
Okay.
Valdosta.
Okay.
Valdosta, the original school in Georgia Valdosta implemented a lot of things that everybody uses now. As far as like the when y'all was at Southeast, it'd be like the super, whoever the highest weightlifter.
Yeah.
The tour days and all that different stuff. Valdosta High started getting the shirt for you in your 300 weightlifting class and all that stuff. Valdosta High was starting that stuff way back in the 70s, and then they infiltrate through all over high school football. But Valdosta in South Georgia. I'm right in the dead center of Georgia. Actually, the major cities in my area is Macon and Warner Robins.
Okay, Warner Robins. Yeah, they have a good program. They've had a good program.
Football in that area.
Yeah,
You got Warner Robins, a juggernaut. Northside had a run around that area. Last year, Perry won. That's another school in the same county. They finally won state. Houston County High had a run when Jake Fromm, when the University of Georgia was there. So it's good football throughout that middle Georgia area.
So who was y'all rival?
Our rival has always been Perry. It was always been Perry.
Yeah.
You know, Perry is the place where you get off the interstate on 75 at.
Yeah.
Get off in Perry, you can go to Fort Valley, you can keep on going. Perry's always been our rival. We've beaten Perry like 20-some years in a row. They won 1 year. But the 1 year they won was the year they had Casey Hayward. He ended up in the NFL. So, you know, that tells you the type of talent he had. Casey Hayward played quarterback and defensive back that year. And all I got was all my guys calling me like, man, this guy from Perry named Casey Hayward, man, this dude's so good. But long story short, Casey went on to Vanderbilt and went on to play NFL about 10 years as a defensive back. So, but Perry's our rival in high school.
You say y'all beat them 20 years straight.
We had been like 20-some years straight. But
Man, that ain't no rival.
We try to tell some
20
teams.
years.
We try to tell some teams around here there ain't no rival. We beat them so many years in a row. They be trying to get trophies on the field and all kind of stuff for the game.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
some games now there's a shrine bowl and you got to fight over the shrine bowl, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the case now,
It's
Jacquez.
different years, but anytime you can make it the game more significant than it should be, you know, they're gonna make the fans get more involved in it.
Yeah.
Because each year your rival really changed. Like if you ask, you know, guys back in my day, we would be like, Tennessee was our rival, Florida State. Now you ask the guys now, they be like, oh, we gotta beat Georgia now. So it kind of changes. It changes over time, I think.
Yeah.
Now, Jacquez, you were a tri-sport athlete, right? Did basketball, you did track, you did football.
Played baseball too.
Oh, okay. You played baseball.
I never went home at school. I always had practice.
Okay. So what sport would you say you were best at? Was football your sport? Because sometimes, you know, athletes say, I kind of settled in here because I can do this with. But what was your favorite sport?
I think the people I grew up with around the Middle Georgia area, in every sport around there, we played against a lot of smaller schools like our school. But we were so dominant in football that we didn't play a lot of those schools around there. We played a lot of Columbus schools and schools away from that area. So in that area, everybody thought I was a good basketball player because they always played against me in basketball, and they didn't know me much for football.
Right.
So I was a pretty good basketball player. I got selected to the Georgia-Tennessee All-Star game my senior year in high school. I couldn't go because we had to leave to go to UF Summer A, and the All-Star game was in the summer. And I had interest from Temple my last year, but the coach told me, he's like, I told him you already had committed to Florida already. You already had signed with Florida. So, and that was at the state tournament. So the coach was like, you already had committed in basketball. So I told him, like, you wouldn't be able to play no college basketball. You already committed in football. So I told him you wouldn't be able to play in college basketball. But they ended up signing another Garden team a couple of years later to go to Temple. So I was a guy just always, like, just good in sports. I just had a knack for playing sports. I grew up playing sports. Every day after school, I go outside and we're going to play something. We're going to go down and shoot basketball. We're going to play some baseball. We're going to play some football. So you just build good motor skills over time. And that's just what I did. My mom knew I was obsessed with sports. Any kind of ball was bouncing anywhere, she knew I was going to be there. And that was just my thing. Some young guys want to chase girls and whatever. Mine was like, where they shooting ball at after school? Like, where they hooping at today? And that's where I wanted to be.
Yeah, that's interesting because, all right, answer this for me. Who in your family would you say, is it a family tree, a family line, or where you just got that gene, or was you just kind of isolated kid? Like, you just kind of, all this kind of giftedness came out of nowhere?
I don't know. I never knew my dad, ever.
Okay.
But I grew up in a Section 8 apartment. So you know what kind of kid's going to grow up in that area. So we got some athletes and some ballers over there each and every day. And it was just competitive. I grew up playing with one of my best friends, Steve. He had a bunch of older uncles who were they was like 17, 18. We were 12 and 13. But we'll play football tackle with them guys. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up playing with older kids all the time. We played tackle. We also had a place in our town called All American where they sold, they used to refurbish helmets and sell old shoulder pads and stuff like that back in the day. It's closed down now. So we was young, so we'll go sneak into their trash cans and steal like old helmets and shoulder pads, and we'll put it on and go outside and play full contact football outside. So that's just how we was thinking though. Like we'll play like straight shells out there. We're playing full contact football with shells on. Just throw a jersey on top and go.
Yeah.
But it was just real competitive growing up, man. And all my friends I grew up with, all of them ended up signing places too. So it was that apartment complex had so much talent in that same apartment complex. Section 8, we paying $30 rent probably. Section 8, and right across the street from it was the projects. Wow. So sometimes we'll play against the projects in football. You get to fighting afterwards. You know how they go. You get to fighting afterwards. It'll be the apartment complex against the projects. And I went on YouTube recently and seen my old complex. It's worse than what it was back when I came, man. That thing terrible now, man.
That'd be amazing though. Like when you hear football stories, when you got guys that become good at football.
Right.
The same background, same scenario. I mean, different families, but the same platform how we came up.
Yeah.
But I heard you say you never knew your dad. Yeah. So you have any siblings, brothers and sisters?
I'm the oldest. I have a younger sister, younger brother. My brother, he stole all the height in the family. He about 6'5", 6'4".
Oh yeah.
And I have a sister who's younger. I'm the oldest, so those are the only two siblings I have.
Yeah. Now, did that hinder you coming up that you didn't know your dad? Was that a problem?
I don't really know. Sometimes we think stuff don't hinder us, but at the same time, you may have some trauma in your past that you didn't realize you had because of that situation. I remember watching Chili on Oprah one time when she met her dad. And I was like, it'd be cool to meet my dad one day. I wonder what kind of dude he is. Yeah. But if you never knew a person, you really don't think about it as much. I never knew him. I never even asked my mom about him. So I don't really think about it as much. But every blue moon, I'd be like, I wonder who my dad is. I wonder what kind of dude he is. I want to see a cool dude or not. You just I get more intrigued the older I get than I was when I was younger.
And the guys that you ran around with in the projects, was they dad there? I'm talking about they biological.
A few of them was.
Oh yeah.
And you kind of you envy that a little bit. His dad was there, his mom was there, but we were really raised by the streets. But the streets raised us different then than they do now. The streets back then was like, don't get in trouble. Do this. You need some gloves for football? I'll buy you gloves. Don't do nothing crazy to get no gloves. You score a touchdown Friday night, I'll give you $20 to go buy you some food. It was different then. So. And like I said, my best friend Steve, he had like 3 older brothers. And he had 3 older uncles. They kind of like raised us and showed us the ropes, around the neighborhood and stuff. Because me and him was real close. So they really was like my uncles also.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah, man. 'Cause, like I said, I was asking those questions because we all grew up in the projects,
Yeah.
and biological fathers wasn't there.
Yeah.
But for excelling in sports, we all did it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that demon will come back, like Jacquez said. He always wondered, what his father would be like.
I'm sure we had some type of trauma deep down inside.
Yeah.
That caused us to do something crazy over our lifetimes that we wouldn't have done if we had a father figure at the house to show us this and show us that. And stuff like that.
Like,
and at the same time, you be loving your mom. You like, she did the best she can. She was there. And I think I never asked because I didn't want her to have to, I don't know what happened. It could have been some traumatic happen.
Right.
And I didn't want my mom never have to go through anything traumatic or relive anything that might have happened. I don't know what happened. I'm just saying, that's just respect I had for her. I didn't want her to have to, even think about what goes on or even have to come up with a reason for him not being there my entire life.
Right.
And that's good. That's good you talked about that because it might be, I know like you're a coach now, it might be some players that you coaching going through that. And just to hear that you went through that, now they might feel like it ain't okay, but dang, now I got a coach that been through that so I can.
Man, I got so many. I got at least 7 or 8 kids that on my team now that's dads in prison or been in prison. Mm-hmm. And people around here look at Manatee High as Manatee High. But I got some kids that really going through some stuff, been through some stuff. And I'm happy I'm the head coach there now because I can relate to a lot of stuff they go through and a lot of reasons they can't make it today to practice coach because I got to help my mom move. I can't make it today to practice coach because, we get great turnout and what have you, but when they do come up with excuses sometimes, I be like, okay, I understand that. I've been through that before. And when sometimes you get different kind of coaches, they be like they're oblivious to the situation. They don't know why he can't make it.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, these kids dealing with a lot more than just trying to play football. Yeah. If I can get these kids to stay out of trouble, do well in school, be respectful, be upstanding citizens. I try to get all of them in college. We signed 10 last year and signed like 7 the year before. I think I did my job. You want to win. I always want to win. I'm very competitive. I always want to win, but I really want to develop these young men, and make them upstanding citizens. Yeah.
That's a good segue into the next question, Quez. You went on and then I know you won a state championship in track doing the 4x1 relay and all that stuff. Did you win a state in football?
We lost the state championship in football. We lost Thomas County Central, which is in Thomasville, Georgia. That was their first one they won. We lost to them again my junior year in the playoffs again. But at that time, we didn't know. That was their first title, but they ended up winning 5 times the next 7 years. They was like the team of the 90s in Georgia. Yeah. You might remember one of their running backs, Joe Burns, ended up going to Georgia Tech and played with the Buffalo Bills as a running back. So they had a little run there. And they won it again last year for the first time since back in the 90s, which is crazy.
Wow. So
we had a lot of guys on my team now. I was just one of the good ones. Joaquin Fizel, he played in the Georgia-Florida game. He ended up going to Michigan. He ended up going to Michigan. He ended up being he got a sack on what's the quarterback from Washington State in the bowl game? Ryan Leaf. He got a sack on Ryan Leaf in the Rose Bowl that year. He was Michigan's team captain his senior year. He played at Fort Valley. The year before we had Marcus Robinson, who played the big receiver for the Bears, who played in South Carolina, who is DeMarcus Robinson's uncle, who plays for DeMarcus with the Rams now. That's DeMarcus's uncle. All of them from Fort Valley. And before that, we had Randy McMichael. Randy McMichael, Georgia, Miami Dog, Fort Valley.
Got some people now.
Fort Valley got some folks now. That I do know.
Yeah, we had Tim Watson. Tim Watson actually is the dad of Christian Watson, who plays for the Green Bay Packers now.
Yeah.
But Tim played there. Greg Lloyd for the Pittsburgh Steelers out of the years.
Jacquez trying to brag.
I mean, we got some talented area now.
We got some dudes, man. Came out the red clay, man. The red clay in Georgia, man.
So Quez, tell me about being selected to the Georgia-Florida game and what that meant to play against the state of Florida. Like,
that was significant, man. That was big time because back in those days, Florida used to have like a Super 24. They'd already select like 24 of their guys before the season even started. Yeah. Which didn't make sense to us in Georgia. I'm like, how you know they're going to be the best at the end of the year? And so down in Georgia, we select our team after the season over with. And in those days, the Georgia-Florida game was like the U.S. Army All-American game. So it was the best against the best. You know, we going to have, in that game, we probably going to have 20 out of the 30 top players in the country in that one game. And so to be named in that type of thing, you know, with me being 5'8", 150 on a good day, you know, it was big time.
Yeah, big time.
It was big time. You play against great players. That was the first time and that's the time, you know, watching those games over the years was when I was introduced to a lot of Florida teams. I always remember helmets in the game. And I just remember the Seminole with orange and blue. And I was like, what is team orange and blue with the Seminoles in their helmet? You know, as I got through college more, I learned that was bred in the Southeast. And nice to see the helmet with the San Francisco 49er here, man. I'm like, what was that with the 49 helmet? That thing's, you know, as I got older, I was like, that was Santa Fe out of the years. But you grew up seeing it in the Georgia-Florida game, those different helmets. And so, and, you know, our game, we had, like, some big-time guys in that game, man. Big-time guys that went on to be big-time players, Super Bowl MVP, because Hines Ward in that game that year, Super Bowl MVPs, Fred Taylor was in that game that year, Troy Davis, Charlie Brown from y'all school, Rich Robich played. Rich Robich played in that game. Tim Alexander was in the game with us that year. Some guys in that game that year, man. So, and that was just big time. You got select that game. You was like that was the top. That was top of the food chain.
That was top of the food chain. Now I don't know about you guys. I know I feel when I was coming out, they were only selecting 2 from a team. Did they do that in Georgia?
They may have kept it at that because I did notice it was always capped at like 2. Myself and Joaquin went on our team, and I know it might have been like that. It might have been like that. So y'all had so many more schools than we have down in Georgia though. Y'all got a gang of schools in Florida, man.
So what position you played in high school?
I was a quarterback in high school.
You was a quarterback?
Yeah, I was a quarterback in high school. I played quarterback I was quarterback my entire life except my junior year.
What y'all ran the option or you would drop back pass?
We used to run the split back veer. We used to drop back and throw it. We did a lot. Like I was always more advanced in my age group. Like now I be seeing cats that came kicking football. I was like, how you can't punt? Like every kid, that's the first thing you do. You don't want to throw the ball. You want to kick it. And so like I was always the quarterback every year, like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. Then I got to 10th grade, we had a guy who was already the varsity quarterback. So I got moved to like receiver and running back, all the skill spots. So he was the quarterback for 2 years. And then when he graduated, I went back to quarterback again. And I was always the quarterback. I was always the point guard. I was always the shortstop. I was always those type of positions. I just love football growing up. So I was real cerebral dealing with football. That was just my thing. I go to which I tell my kids now, I'm like y'all don't watch enough football. Because I can watch the guys play football and just emulate what they just did and really understand technique and stuff like that. But people learn differently now.
That's weird. So the thing is, you end up at the University of Florida from Georgia. How in the world did you get out of Georgia? Were there any Georgia schools that recruiting you? Like, what was that recruiting process like?
When I came out of high school, I was more of an athlete. So we had some schools recruit me as a quarterback, not quarterback. Some schools recruit me as a defensive back, corner. Some recruit me as a wide receiver because I did a lot of stuff at wide receiver my junior when we went to the state championship game. And they had some smaller schools want me to play quarterback. Schools that run the option. Georgia Southern was a heavy option team at that time. I think East Tennessee State was a heavy option team at that time. So some teams still want me to line up at quarterback and run the option. So it really came down to like teams that want to play defense. It was like basically eliminated off the list. And that was Georgia and Auburn. I'm like, I don't want to play them. I hate defense. Even though they'll put me in the game against a team that has a good wide receiver to cover him. But I didn't like defense. I want to make somebody miss. I always thought it was dumb just to run to somebody full speed. That was like, and some people love it. Some people the opposite. They're like, I don't want to get hit. I just want to hit somebody. And so it came down to playing receiver. And I went to Mississippi State. They had a bunch of tall receivers. At the time, Eric Moles said he was there on the visit with me. He told me later on. Now he was a receiver there at the time. They had a lot of big guys there. So I'm like, we wasn't arrogant like the kids now. So we really weren't sure how good we were back then. So I'm like, man, they got some tall dudes. Man, I ain't gonna be able to play here. So in my mind, like, I ain't coming here. They too tall. They ain't gonna never play me here. I'm short. And so it came down to Florida and Alabama. And Alabama was a traditional pro-style offense. So I was like, if I don't start at Alabama, I'm not going to play because they don't play nothing but 2 receivers most of the time. I was like, if I don't start at Florida, I still can get on the field in the 3 wide receiver set or the 4 wide receiver set, and they play a lot of receivers. And I had fun on my visits. So I committed to Florida eventually. I committed to Florida and Best decision I made in my life. Looking back.
So no Georgia team, no Georgia Bulldog, Georgia Tech, none of
I didn't even take a visit. No, they recruited me. I just never took a visit. Back in those days, you get recruited, you decide your 5 visits, you take your visits, and that was it. We ain't do all the weird stuff the kids do online now.
So you just wanted to get out of Georgia?
Kind of, sort of. No, we had a guy who was our Trojan mascot at our school. His name was last name Hawkins. He was a big Gator fan. He was probably the only big Gator fan in that whole area. He was our mascot guy. He romped with the Trojan outfit on. So he used to take me to Florida games a lot. And he took me. The first game I went to in Florida was when Florida played Florida State. My senior year, had to be your junior year, when they thought Warwick Dunn ran out of bounds when they hit Lott in the back, clip over the sideline. That was my first game.
Oh man!
And the swamp was rocking.
That was a good game.
Yeah. So my first game in the swamp, and it's just crazy and loud. I was like, man, this would be awesome to play in this type of atmosphere, man.
Yeah.
So that was my first time at Florida. And they sold me on Jack Jackson. When I finally met him, he about 5'7". I'm like, he's a literacy. I can play with him. And you meet Aubrey, he like about 5'10". So I'm like, okay, these dudes got regular size, guys I can relate to. And so it was relatability. It was the fact that Spurrier going to throw the football. They wanted speed receivers. And Gainesville is not far from Georgia. Gainesville is right there on 75. And I've never been to Gainesville, but my junior and senior year, we got invited to run at the Sunshine State Games in Orlando. It was the big track meet in the state at the end of the year where all the big 4x1 teams from all over the country come and run. And so my team got invited. On our way to Orlando, we rode through Gainesville. And I was like, wow, Gainesville ain't that far from Fort Valley. It's like 4.5 hours. But it's not far as like some other places. Like, where I'm located at in Georgia, Auburn is actually the closest. Auburn, like 2 hours from me. It's closer than Georgia and it's closer than Gainesville. And so at that time, I was like, when you're young, you never been anywhere. Like, growing up in 6 and 8, you ain't been nowhere. You ain't gone. So my whole thing was I want to go somewhere that's not super duper far from home, but far enough away so people can't just pop up and be like, I'm in the area type deal. And so Gainesville wasn't far. I enjoyed my visit. The people they had recruit me was good guys, and it worked out. Like I always say, it was one of the best decisions I made. Because I know a lot of times in college, we sit around at nighttime and we're like, man, I should have went here. I should have went there. But we didn't transfer back then. We just sucked it up and dealt with it and made the best of your situation. But everybody go through that, though.
That's interesting. So what about your recruiting host? Who was your host on your trip?
I can't even remember my host in Florida.
Okay.
What I do remember was Peyton Manning was down there that weekend, and they was following Peyton Manning everywhere he went. I remember that good.
Peyton Manning, what? It was recruited by the Gators?
Everybody, He was on the visit that weekend. He was on the visit that weekend, and Scott Covington, who went to Miami that time, he was down there that weekend.
Okay.
And what I remember was, because back then you get the magazines or the top recruits. The only thing you see is pictures of people all the time. We didn't have the internet and all that stuff back then. And so you just see pictures of people in magazines. So I finally seen Peyton Manning in person. I'm like, man, that dude tall, man. And all our coaches just was like jocking him the whole weekend, all Florida coaches, and they just crowded around the whole weekend. And that's what I remember mostly from the visit. I remember just being the coaches like gravitating to Peyton Manning, trying to make sure they want him to commit to Florida.
Might have been crazy, boy. Peyton Manning went to Florida, though, boy.
It would have.
But
things worked out the way that's what we gonna do. Things worked out the way.
Scott Covington was like a big time quarterback too out of California. Remember, he went to Miami during that time. That's when the Florida schools got all the best quarterbacks in the country around that time.
So you got to Florida. So what was something that? Well, let me start this. So let me tell you this.
Here you go.
We telling everything, man.
I want to tell my first time meeting Jacquez because Jacquez, he's a head football coach right now, but I really thought after football was over for him, I don't know if I saw you going into coaching. What I saw you going into more was maybe broadcasting, a sports writer or something like that. My first time meeting Jacquez that I remember, and maybe I'm a little delusional. But Quiz, I swear to God, I thought this was my first time meeting you. I go to the practice field, right? And Quiz, I believe you redshirted.
Yeah, I redshirted my first year.
Right, you redshirted. So I don't know what Quiz was doing. I know they was practicing. I don't know if Quiz had his full uniform on. I don't know. But what I do recall, I thought you had a newspaper out on the field, bro.
I might have did because I used to read. I read the paper faithfully every year for like 20 years, and I used to read the Alligator faithfully every day. I always read a lot.
He had a paper on the football field.
Bro, maybe I'm a little delusional, but he had the paper so much, and he knew about every athlete that came into the school.
I can retain information about athletics. I don't know why. I can just retain information. I can read some of the simplest stuff and just remember it so much. And me and my friends, we have this thing. You might remember this show on ESPN back in the day. It was called Stump the Swab. Where you had to try to guess the more sports. You had to guess the more sport. You had to You had to get the answers to the sports questions before the swab can do it.
Okay.
He was a white guy. He's real smart.
Okay.
But he was the guy who's always coming up with the answers on ESPN and the facts and stuff like that. So you had to know more than him, and it was called Stump the Swab. So me and my boys played like nonstop, relentlessly for the last 12, 13 years. So we just might walk up to you and be like, what high school Brandon Moss went to? Yeah. And you got to come up with an answer like that. Yeah. So it kind of made us on our P's and Q's about everybody and all kinds of aspects of sports and stuff. And I just can always retain information. I can't help it. Corey Chave is another guy like that. Played at Vanderbilt.
Yes.
He can always always just call information. I don't know how it is, but I can tell you where they went to school at, what college they went to, what high school they went to, who they played against, who was like on the same team together.
Yeah.
I can always do that. I don't know why.
Hey, hold on now, I know that boy had no news.
But listen, I know he went practicing.
He probably seen me with the paper so much around there. I read the paper.
I'm assuming Steve Spurrier with all that.
No, he wasn't. I know for sure he wasn't practicing with the team at the time. I mean, he was there, but he wasn't actively practicing at the time. I don't know. He could have been hurt. I don't know what you were doing. I just know.
He just know
you
you had
asked
paper.
I think he seen me with the newspaper so many times that he automatically that image stuck in his head.
Boy, listen, boy. God, dog. This boy knew everything. So tell me about the toughest game and maybe the toughest DB that you had to go against. You're speaking of Corey Chavez, who was a great athlete, right?
That year, man, Reggie, my last year at Florida, I went against like the best of the best that year. I went against Corey Chavez, who went second round. I went against Samari Rowe, who went second round. I went against Terry Fair, who went first round, Tennessee. I went against Patrick Surtain that year. We played Southern Miss first game.
Yeah.
They was good.
Yeah.
I went Patrick Surtain that year, who went second round, first game. That's like 5. And we had another guy. Arkansas had a guy that year too, who was like all SEC too. So all of them was good cornerbacks. I think. And Florida State had Tay Coley on the other side that year. Tay was a younger guy, and I knew Tay because Tay from Georgia too. Okay. But he was a younger guy, but Tay ended up being an all SEC cornerback. All ACC cornerback before he left. College probably had to be Corey Chavis. No,
Corey Chavis was tough, boy.
He was so big. We didn't. Corner's our team was 180. We were about 180, 185. And Corey like 210 at cornerback. He was physical. And you had to get open fast because Vanderbilt brought a lot of pressure all the time. So you had to get open real quick. So, and at that time, Vanderbilt was a top 10 defense in the country every year. Chavis went second round. Had a kid, Fred Vincent went like second round, who can fly. Safety went high, and then they had linebackers there. Jamie Duncan. Jamie played me at the Bucks. They had a bunch of linebackers who were high. So at that time, Vanderbilt was the best defense we played, and Corey Chavis was the best defensive back I went against.
I don't, to be honest with you, I don't think people bring Jacquez's name up enough, boy. When it come down to college football, undersized receivers that was explosive. Man, Jacquez Green, boy.
I guess because I guess because my first couple of years it was always me, Ike, and Riedel. And we always get grouped together. Ike and Riedel, Ike, Quez, and Riedel. And then my last year, my whole claim to fame, my last was the fact that we had rotating quarterbacks the whole year too. Like I didn't have a Danny Werfel in there throwing me the ball throughout the season. My last year, we was playing Doug, we was playing Jesse Palm, we was playing Noah Brandeis, and then Doug get in trouble, we'll play Jesse again, and then both of them, they weren't doing anything, we'll play Noah again. So we was and in that game that year, remember, against Florida State, we rotated quarterbacks every snap. So I didn't really have the continuity like the rest of those guys got, and I also didn't have a number 2 that year. Jamie had just took over, but he was still like, young and green. Travis hadn't really took off like he took off the next year receiver, so we was even playing Daryl and Travis that year, and they was freshmen, so I really didn't have a legit 2, and we had rotating quarterbacks that year. As opposed to all the rest of the years, everybody we were like in the first years before we was loaded all the way across the board with guys that can score every time you touch it.
Florida had the receivers. Well, from 92 to about 97, 96.
Yeah.
But Jacquez, I'm telling you though, boy, you was electrifying out there on that field, boy.
Yeah.
When you were at number 5, I think you were more dangerous at number 5.
Yeah.
Well, number 5, boy.
Yeah. Well, that year is special, and the fact that you just said what you said, it makes it even more special just to realize. And we sit back and look at the rotating quarterbacks, who was number 2 or 3 receiver. You was that guy, and defense can scheme against that, right?
Yeah.
So how was it that Coach Spurrier was still able to dial it up and just make sure that you got the ball?
I think one of the smarter things he did that year was not let his ego get in the way of the game plan that year, and we ran Fred a lot that year. You know, that's when Fred Taylor really became Fred Taylor. A lot of people don't know that. You know? First couple of years, everybody was like, he supposed to be a big-time back. He ain't did nothing yet. And then that last year, when it was just me and Fred, that's when he really took off and became – we always saw it in practice. Now, we knew he was awesome.
Yeah.
But he hadn't really showed it consistently in the games yet. And so I think the fact that we can run the ball that year and can throw the ball over the top, that, you know, and Spurrier's smart. You know, he know how to use people to, you know, just make the defender do this and create openings for you. So I think it was the fact that we ran the ball a lot more that year. We ran Fred and threw it to me. That basically was the game plan that season. And we won 10 games, 10-2.
Yeah.
And you was, from what I seen when I used to watch you play, you was a great route runner.
We took great pride in running routes. You know? Now Spurrier would get out there.
But how you learn how to run the route? Because you played quarterback all year.
Exactly. And I couldn't run routes when I got there. I'm a natural long strider. Most short guys be a little choppy quick step. I was a long strider, so I had to learn how to shorten up my steps. But I was a guy that I'm going to listen to what my coaches say. I always been like that. I'm going to listen to what they say. So if they tell me do it like this, I'm going to do it like that. And at the same time, I can read. They were just naturals at everything. So I'm smart enough to look at them and look and see how they doing stuff and try to emulate that into my game. And so it really, and the fact that I redshirted, you know, I wasn't thrust into the action I had to play. So I had a whole fall and a whole spring and a whole summer to learn all that route running before I played my first game at UF. And, you know, we do a lot of the same stuff over and over, so you only, you know, naturally get better and better at running routes over time. And our whole pass game was timing. You know, you get to a spot, the ball gonna be taken. The quarterback gonna take a drop and let go. So you know, there's a lot of time in our pass game. It remind me though, as I got older, it reminded me what the Rams were doing when they was winning them championships. In 01 and 99, it was all timing. Warner already released that thing before Hope, you know, come out to break good. So that's what we did, a lot of time in passing.
Well, before we move on, you went on and played for the Tampa Bay Bucks. You got drafted by the Tampa Bay Bucks in the second round. I've always wanted to know this, and I think my experience in high school, my experience in college, I want to hear it from you. That 96 championship team, we won the championship. You know, we had great coaches, we had great players, but what made that year so special, and what do you think was the X factor that allowed for us to gel as a team to actually win it?
I think we had good leadership, first of all. I thought we had, like, some linemen that always led. I thought we had, like, Lawrence Wright, who was, like, one of the best leaders I ever been around. Like, cat never ran out of energy. So I was like, dang, dude, you got energy 6 in the morning, you got energy 12 at night.
Yeah.
But he was a guy that didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do nothing. He just go hard all the time. I just thought we was a close team, and I thought we was a talented team. Because even when we lost Nebraska, like, our whole team came back the next year. That was your freshman year, wasn't it? Like, our whole team came back the next year, man. Yeah. So, and we had depth. We had depth. We were deep at every position. So you knew you can get benched, and we weren't missing a beat around there. Yeah. If you remember that time when Spurrier went around the room, he was like, Big Mo, when you suspended, did we lose a game? He was like, no. Fred, when you mess with those books, did we lose a game? No. Somebody, when you was smoking and you missed those 3 games, did we lose a game? And the common thing with the whole room was everybody like, no, we never lost.
Yeah.
So it's like, we gonna win. We had depth, and Spur always be like, we're gonna win with you or without you. He always said it. We're gonna win with or without you.
Yeah, man.
And when he had that type of confidence, man, that infiltrated to the players. We like, yeah, we're gonna win with or without you, man. We're gonna win, like no
Yeah.
matter what you say.
Yeah.
Cause Spurs just gave you that confidence. No, he wasn't with all that coach speak. Like coaches now a lot of coach speak and try to say the right stuff and be publicly correct and stuff. Spurs gonna say what's in his mind. Spurs gonna talk like we thinking. Like he talked like how we think as players. And he was a player. He played baseball, basketball, football, was all state and everything in high school. And so I think it was the depth, Reggie. I think we had more depth than everybody. And I think we didn't have a huge drop off when we went to our second and third team. We were just as good as everybody else team. And we was good up front. I think we was way better than people gave us credit for.
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you this: do you think the closeness of the team had a factor as well? Because I look back at Southeast, and one thing I realized, my group of guys, we were just so freaking close. We was all homeboys. We were tight.
That's how it
we
is.
did this. We went here together. We went there together.
That's what it is. We was tight. We was real tight. I know my 94 class. We went everywhere together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Reggie know.
Yeah.
We went everywhere together.
Yeah.
We went out. It was like 17 of us. We went out of town together. Yeah. We go to Tallahassee together. We'll go to Atlanta together.
Yeah.
We're going to the club together.
Yeah.
But that's really.
And each class was like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's really the key to
Yeah.
winning, man. Because every coach want every player to get to know one another.
Yeah.
Sometimes they used to set up like little movie nights.
And what I do now, Green, is I always preach like love your teammates.
Yeah.
Always make them sit with somebody they don't know well on the bus. On the bus, I make them sit with somebody they don't know. Sit with somebody playing on the other side of the ball that you don't normally hang with. When we go to FCA camp, I put them in a room with somebody they ain't never know. Just get to know all your teammates, man. Yeah. And I be like, when we get ready to leave on Sunday, you better tell them something about him I don't know about. Or if I ask you something about him, you better know. You know, that type deal. But our team is in Manatee is real close. But I make it a point to make sure those kids are close.
That's the main ingredients, man.
So
you gotta love your teammates to be a good team.
You gotta love them.
These new kids now, they'll get jealous. They get jealous of each other now.
Right.
You can't make sure they're not jealous of each other because you're gonna have some kids getting offers and on newspapers, on TV, and this kid feel like he should do it, or the kid might not feel like he do it. Mama might feel like he should do it back home, and she gonna put that in his head. Well, they always got him on the paper. Why they ain't got you on the paper none? And the kid gonna start feeling some kind of way. So I try to preach, love each other, man. Don't be jealous of your teammates, that type deal.
Yeah.
Man, I was proud of you, man, when you went on to play got drafted, went on to play with the Bucks. One of the things that was really cool to me that I don't think I ever shared with you was that, when we talk about the closeness, right, the friendships, and it seems like that stuff never dies down. When we're friends, right? And when you got there, the Bucks, maybe during the off season, he came to third, and you're playing Madden. I don't know if you remember that, but you guys,
and your boys down here.
Yeah, you guys came down.
33rd, what? Down the road, Southeast?
Yeah.
I had Jacquez on 33rd.
Man, Madden was still the thing. So back then,
go down there right now and play if they want to play.
But
I drove down here and came to play.
Yeah, but he did. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I brought that up is because you end up winning the Madden Bowl in 2001, 2002, right? A Madden Bowl champion. And I think back then, it could have been around Super Bowl time, maybe.
Yeah, that was Super Bowl week.
And
Super
they had
Bowl,
players.
Super Bowl week, Tuesday night, Super Bowl week at some restaurant in town.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always like me, and if you're a friend of mine, you're a friend of mine. Regardless of whatever. And we only have to talk every day. When I still see you, we still cool, we still boys. And I was talking to Reggie, and they told me, I think of Harold and all them guys, when they told me coming out here and playing the game, that right down my alley.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I'll be down there. Yeah. I'll be down there. You want to play that game? Let's go. I'm down there.
Let's go.
And I'm a gamer to this day, though. I'm a gamer to this day, man. I just always like playing the game. Everybody had their vice,
Yeah.
Somebody might get bored and want to look at Netflix. When I get bored, either I'm gonna look at some football, do some football, or I'm gonna play the game. That's just me. I'm not a big TV watcher. I watch some movies if they supposed to be a good movie. Every blue moon, I might watch a Netflix show, but I'm not a guy just turn the TV on and be like, let me find something on TV. Nah, I'm not a TV.
I don't.
Y'all didn't take Jacquez and Noreen? You didn't get a man
No, we didn't get no sandwich back then, baby.
Oh, man.
So all right. So Jacquez, we finished up football, right? We went to the league. Ended up being back up with Spurrier in Washington. You played a little bit in Detroit. Then when football was over, you got directly into coaching.
No, football was over, it's a process all athletes go through, trying to figure out what you want to do next. You know, as an athlete, your life been laid out for you.
Yeah.
Got practice this day, you got to get up this time.
Yeah.
Next year this time, you're going to have the same schedule.
Yep.
You know, steady hawk going to be this day. You know, mini camp going to be this day. You know your schedule. So now you're done playing ball, you like, okay, I got my own schedule. What do I want to do? What time I want to get up? And so at that time, I was trying to figure out, exactly what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to get my degree. I always want to know I need a degree to, I'm still young. I'm still 20, late 20s. So I know I always wanted to get my education. Even when I went to the pros early, left school early, I told my mom that I was going to go back and get my degree. And so at that time, I moved back to Gainesville. A little bit after was like 05 or 06, I moved back to Gainesville to finish up my degree. At the same time when Florida went out to the championships in football and basketball around that time. I remember I was up there during that time. I moved back up there. I finished up my degrees. And then one day I was sitting in my apartment and Sean King called me, who was my old quarterback at Tampa. And he was like, man, Yusuf just got the job at my old high school, which is Gibbs High School in St. Pete. And I said, tell Yusuf, man, I want to coach. Because I knew Yusuf Shakir, because Yusuf had came on a visit to Florida when I was there. And that's the first time I ever met him. And I knew he had played at Lincoln and all that kind of stuff. And I said, tell Yusuf I want to coach. And he called me like a second later. Sean got off the phone. He called me. He was like, I heard you want to coach, man. He said, come down here and check it out. And long story be short, I went down there to check it out in the spring, and I've been coaching football since. I ended up moving down there rather that.
Yeah.
It was all messed up, and I ain't never coached before.
Yeah.
But I always knew I always knew I can retain information well. I always knew my favorite day of the week was when we got our game plan. I always loved the game plan day. I always knew everything that everybody on the damn field supposed to be doing. So I always just had something to it. And at Florida with Spurrier, and our wide receivers and quarterbacks always met together. So we learned everything the quarterback's supposed to be doing because we always met together. He would be, and you had to be on, you had to pay attention to me because he'll be like, Quezzy, give me 2 good plays in the game plan this week for cover 3. And you got to be on it. So you knew you didn't know who he was going to call. So that made everybody else have to be like sitting in the meeting like,
absolutely.
Let me go on and be on this right here so in case he called me. You don't want him to call you don't know nothing.
Absolutely.
You know how he is.
Absolutely. Absolutely, boy.
So I always knew I wanted to coach. I always knew I enjoyed X's and O's, and I always enjoyed strategy, just from Madden and all that kind of stuff. I always enjoyed strategy, man. I didn't know how good I'd be at it, what have you, and I always knew I wanted to give back to the kids. I always knew I had a great life. I want to have a great life. I've been blessed. I did everything I wanted to do, go wherever I wanted to go. Now I want to help some other kids reach, their goals and be able to get out of the situation they're in. Back then, like more so now than back then, because now everybody out for their own self. Everybody trying to make money off the kids now. So the kids don't really have anybody that really in their corner anymore that really looking out for their well-being. Even everybody who they think looking out for their well-being, like they trying to get some money eventually off of you or some NIL kickback or payback or whatever. And so I went to Gibbs High School, and Gibbs was rough. Gibbs hadn't made the playoffs in 9 years. They had back-to-back winning season in 8 or 9 years, and me and Coach Shakir that first year we had a winning season, and so right then we kind of we knew we might have something. Cause I ain't know what the hell I was doing yet. Looking back now, I thought I did. Looking back then now, I ain't know what I was doing.
What position you was coaching?
I was offense coordinator. I knew. I was offense coordinator.
Your first time ever coaching high school, you was offense coordinator.
I knew how to group stuff. I knew scheme from the NFL. I knew scheme and how to put a passing game together. I wasn't good in the run game yet. I wasn't good in protection yet. But I knew how to throw the ball. I knew how to run basic runs and stuff.
Man.
And I was real basic back then. And we won. We made the playoffs that year. That's the first time I had made playoffs in 9 years at that school. Gil's like 98% black over there in St. Pete. And so the next year, we had a winning record. We didn't make the playoffs. But that was the first time they had back-to-back seasons with like non-losing seasons. At that same time, that's when Largo was a monster over in the St. Pete area. Largo was one of the best teams in the state around that time. And so those were the 2 years I was at Gibbs. We went to the playoffs 1 year. The next year we had a non-losing season, which was significant then. And then the next year I didn't coach. That's the only year I hadn't coached in the last like 18 years. And those kids won district. And those are the kids who had when we first started a lot. They won district, and that was And that was big for us. We
That's
felt
big,
like we was a
yeah.
part of that. 'Cause
Yeah,
we had those
absolutely.
kids, and they was 10th graders. That was the first group we had coming in.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they won district, but they had to come out here and play Manatee, I think, first round of the playoffs. But
Oh,
no, we
okay.
felt like it was our district championship. And after that, I took a year off. When I took that year off, I learned how to learn more football. I used to go around different high schools and talk to coaches and see how people do stuff. All the different ways people do stuff. Then I got a call from Shakir was calling me that whole year in 2009. He's calling me the whole year. Man, I need an OC. Man, I need an OC. Man, I need an OC. And they ended up going through some stuff back home. And so I moved to Tallahassee and started coaching with Coach Shakir. And then in 2010, we won a state championship.
Oh, in Tallahassee. What school?
Tallahassee Lincoln,
Lincoln?
we won
Yeah.
a state championship. Arnwood was heavy favorites over us in state championship.
Okay.
We remember that good. They was heavy favorites. We beat Arnwood in the state championship. The next year in 11, we was real good. We got upset first round of the playoffs. We was like 10-0. Got beat first round of the playoffs to they was good. Fleming Island. And then the next year, my third year, went to state championship game again. And we lost to Bosa Brothers. Joe and Nick Bosa at St. Thomas.
St. Thomas
Yeah.
Pointers,
Yeah, but at the same time, me and Coach Shakir, we knew we had something together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because basically, he was the head coach, but he also ran the defense.
Okay.
But he didn't have to worry about offense because I was always the offensive
yeah,
coordinator.
yeah.
So we was always a good combination together.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
and that's how my coaching first started out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then eventually you got down. Both you guys came down to Manatee.
To Manatee.
Now.
Boy, look here. Go ahead, real, because I got something to say about that. That was
Manatee coming into that year, I think Manatee they were.
We had came down here and beat Manatee in 15,
I remember that.
Lincoln.
I remember that.
So
I
we,
remember
we
that.
knew about Manatee. It was the same night they opened up the scoreboard.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it because
Yeah.
there was a night they had to bring.
Manatee, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at Manatee that night. They hadn't lost at home in like 6-7 years or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
We came down.
Yeah.
That's when me and Coach Kier was at Lincoln. Yep.
And I was going to ask you, do you think that had a lot to do with getting down here? Because, I mean, the pool. Well, let me ask you this: how did y'all get down here? Because
You about
that's
to say, boy, you
that's
about
an
to say something,
interesting.
boy.
No, that's-
Manatee. At the time, I was getting ready to leave. I was getting ready to leave Lincoln, and Shakir was about to leave Lincoln at the same time. And the administrator was talking crazy to him, like he been like they didn't want him to go on to go visit no other schools about jobs and stuff like that. And he was hitting me up, saying, "I'm thinking about taking this job. You think about what you think about going down there with me?" I think at that time he was about to take the Carol City job in Miami. I was like,
Oh,
man,
okay.
I ain't going no Carol City. I ain't going to Miami. I know I ain't going down there. I'm like, I ain't moving to Miami. Like, I don't even want to live in no city like
Right,
that.
right,
Like, I
right.
business city. I don't
Right,
want to
I
live
live
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he was about to take another job in Texas. And then Coach Kier was high. He been
Yeah, he
to
was high,
2
yeah.
state championships
Yeah,
in the last
yeah,
2 or
yeah,
3
yeah,
years
yeah.
and stuff. And after that, he hit me up and he was like, he took the Manatee job. And I was like, man. And then I know some of the prominent people around here asked me, was I coming? And I think you talked to him. You like, you coming
Yeah,
down there?
yeah,
I see your boy
yeah.
down here. You coming
Yeah.
down there? And I was like, man, I just told Boucher, Corey Fuller, played Florida State,
Okay,
played in the
okay.
field. I said, I just told Boucher I'm going to go to Gabby. Because it was a challenge to me. Gabby, a good program. But at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time, Gabby had won 3 games in 2 years. So I was like, man, Corey wanted to get in the I formation and run the football. He old school
Okay.
coach. I was like, I can do that too, Corey. Because that's how I started like playing
Yeah,
football.
yeah.
And so I, at that time, I went up to Gabby with Fuller. And long story short, we went 23-2 over 2 years over there. So we had a lot of success over there. We lost to Trinity Christian when they were making their little run in the playoffs 1 year, and we lost to Bowles 1 year in the playoffs. Off that team, we just had a kid, Javon. What's Javon like? Javon Solomon just got drafted by Buffalo. He played at Troy.
Oh,
He got
okay.
drafted off that team. And we had a couple more kids that's still in college from those teams that we played on. So
Oh, okay.
we had lots of success then. And then I was getting ready to go to Georgia and coach. And then I talked to Shakir, and he was like, man, I still need an offensive coordinator. I guess he wasn't happy with who he had down here. And I was like, I knew the area. I played in Tampa. I know about Brazen. I don't been to Brazen. Yeah, I don't been to Brazen a few times. I don't been to Peter Up. I don't been to Peter Up Celebrity Game.
Yeah.
I don't rode through here a million times going to Miami. I'm like, and I came down here and I met with the people who make decisions around here, and I started coaching down here, and it took off. Coach Shakir can now focus on defense again.
Yeah,
I take care of the offense, and first 2 years down here was in the district with Venice both years. We won the district both years. Like a lot of people don't realize that. Like, dude, we won the district both years. They came back one year and beat us in the playoffs, but we beat them both. We won the district both years. We was in the district with those guys.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. See, I'm old school. I came out of high school in '89. Boy, when I heard that Manatee High School was hiring a black head football coach at Manatee High School.
Coach Kira was the first black head coach at Lincoln and Manatee.
Not only that, his name was Secure
A Muslim name.
on the west side of Brady. Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, don't get me wrong. We grew up, we was programmed to dislike Manatee. We was on the east side of Brady. But when I heard Manatee had a black head coach, I was happy. See, his name was Secure.
You probably had some people didn't like him. Never even met him, didn't like him probably.
First of all, Manatee High School. When you think about Manatee High School, on the west side of town, Coach Kinnan name come up. Okay, boy, I'm telling you, but it's some Manatee faithfuls around here, boy. If you ain't your last name ain't Kinnan, they don't think you can be a good coach.
Right.
At Manatee. Still to this day, I'm a barber, Jacquez, so I hear it. There's a lot of Manatee diehards around here feel like if you're going to be a coach at Manatee, they would rather have somebody that was already embedded in the program. You know, and when y'all came down here talking about Manatee got a black coach and his name's Shakur.
And the crazy thing about it is Kinnan still got beef with the program over there, though.
Yeah.
All that he done did for the program, the community, and the school, and he still don't even go around there. So I'm like, know my days number around here then.
Well, I'm telling you, man.
Wait, you met Coach Kinnan?
You met him?
I never met Kinnan. You know how I met more than anybody though?
Who?
You guys, Coach.
Meckley.
Meckley?
I like Meckley.
Because he that community guy.
I met Meckley. I've never met Coach Kinnan. I met Meckley. I've sat and talked to Meckley about 4 or 5 times I've been here. Real good guy. Oh, yeah. When I met him, I was like, I can see why Southeast was a real good program around that time, man. He was a good dude.
That's weird, though. That's kind of.
I'm going to wait in the backyard, man.
No, go ahead.
So what you got to say, man? Truth need to be
told.
told.
You know, I ain't scared of them people on the west side now, real.
Yeah.
We know.
But listen, you ain't never met Coach Kinnan.
No.
That's kind of crazy to me, man. I mean, why not? Why Coach Kinnan should be reaching out to him.
It's going to go both ways. Some people going to probably like, Coach Kinnan should reach out to him. Well, he should reach out to Coach Kinnan.
Yeah. All the Manatee faithfuls going to say, you need to reach out to Coach Kinnan. But the thing is, though, man, I mean.
But how would he be able to reach out to Kinnan?
You're the second African-American to be the head coach at Manatee. First of all, peeping Palmetto. The reason I say Palmetto, all Manatee football players from Palmetto.
I've learned that over the years.
They always thought if it was going to be a black head coach at Manatee, it was going to be who, y'all? Tommy Frazier.
Tommy Frazier.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's
somebody who
he's a big
embedded
name.
in with the guy.
I mean, Tracy's there.
Yeah.
Tracy's a Manatee legend too. You know, but we didn't think a black coach was going to be at Manatee. I'm still stuck on Shakur. That name, Shakur, on the west side.
Yusuf.
Yeah.
You know, but I just feel like Coach Kinnan should be reaching out. African American coach, coaching Manatee High School. I know the Manatee faithfuls are gonna say.
I try hard to bridge this thing. You know, the white side of thinking and the black side of thinking. I try hard to just bridge it and let them understand why some blacks think this way, and let the black people think why the Caucasian people think this way. And if I can do one thing other than develop these guys and win a state championship, it just bring all this stuff together, man.
Yeah.
Because I know y'all got a divide in this town, and it goes back a long ways.
Yeah.
Man.
Even just being in Manatee, I know it's just a divide where I'm like, oh, these brothers don't make all these plays for y'all, won these championships, y'all. The least y'all can do is like look out for them and stuff like that. So, but it is what it is. Hopefully, I can do that before I leave here, though.
Yeah, man. But see, like I said, I'm a barber, so I hear it all, man. And see, they feel like Manatee faithfuls around here feel like if you don't run Coach Kinnan offense, you ain't running none of that Manatee. like they think every coach that coached after Coach Kinnan should run it the way Coach Kinnan run it. You know, but that's not.
Well,
We have a lot of old fan base, and older people, black or white, get accustomed to the way things used to be. You know, even us. You know, even right now, we be like, man, it used to be like that.
Yeah.
They just accustomed to the way things used to be. As long as you have success, I think they can deal with it. They're not gonna get mad or mad about the situation, what have you, unless you start losing. Then they're gonna start complaining and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you or do you feel pressure into winning?
No, I don't feel pressure. Mainly because of the pay. Like it's not. This job doesn't pay my bills.
Right.
So it's like no pressure now. You got pressure if you got a job. You got to pay your bill.
Yeah.
I don't feel no pressure. I want to develop the kids. That's first and foremost. I want to do the best job I can do in the classroom.
Yeah.
I want to get as many kids in college. I want to make the kids represent the community the right way, and. That's the main thing for me. Other than that, most of it just extra. So I don't feel any pressure because I can go find another high school job. That's not difficult.
Right.
For me to find a high school job.
Right.
But at the same time, I got a good situation here. I got great support from from some of the guys in the boosters and broadcasters that help out. I got a good staff. I got a good setup, and I've structured it the right way. So. I got it structured the right way, and if you build it, people will come. And if you've seen this past off season, once you build it, they're gonna be knocking down the door trying to come play for you and stuff like that. Once you get it going.
So after your first year, I believe your first year as the head coach, your record your first year wasn't
2-7.
Right, it wasn't 5 yet. So to come back the next year, right? What was the biggest difference between that first year and the second year? Where you were able to dial it up and get some more wins?
Well, I coached for so long that I knew, like, you got to do certain things to win games. And Coach Conley and probably Coach Price, I actually told them on the sideline during the game we were getting beat. I like, it ain't gonna always be like this, man. Because that's all they knew. That was their first year coaching. They just seen, let's get our head beat in. I said, it ain't gonna always be like this, man. At that time, I had to get everything structured, man. I had to get the right kids on the team, get the weed heads, the smokers off the team, get the right staff together. And it's hard to get a good staff together because you don't pay coaches in Florida. Yeah. So you have to if you can't pay coaches, you got to get a guy who's willing to work, and you got to be able to teach him. You got to be able to teach your assistant coaches and stuff like that. Yeah. But you got to get guys that's willing to work, and you got to treat them good. If you're not going to pay people money, you got to treat them good. You can't try to meet them till all night long and tell them to be in at 5 in the morning, all this weird stuff if they're not making money. Georgia coaches can do that, and they making a ton of money. You can tell the coaches, we ain't gonna leave at 10 o'clock at night on Monday night. I don't care if you gotta be to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Right. So I try to treat people good. That's big to me, to treat people good, regardless of football or not. I think it's just good to be a good person at the end of the day.
Yeah. So what about Manatee that was, with last year's team, you didn't win the district, I don't think, right?
Yeah, we won district last year.
Yeah, you did. Yes, I mean Palmetto, right?
Palmetto didn't win district.
Palmetto was in the district. You beat Palmetto to win the district, right? To overall win the district.
We smashed Palmetto one night. And won the district.
So,
oh Lord, really?
I wanted to bring this up, Jacquez, because Troof Be Told, right? You shared me on Media Day last year. Right?
Tell it.
That he said on Media Day. Now, Media Day is what, this past week before football season, right?
This past week we had at Legacy Hotel in IMG. Last year we had at UTC.
So, Media Day, he tells me, because my child is at Palmetto High School. And I felt like he was being a little bit too loud because my coach was right beside me at the table. So Coach Green tells me, you know we're going to kick your A right. And then proceeds, I don't care if you're coach right there. This is what's going to happen. So I'm like, I know he ain't saying this. I said, so I couldn't wait to get to Coach West afterward, right? Coach West, I don't care what we do.
I know real. Okay, what we do? We gotta beat Manatee.
Well, we gotta beat Manatee. Coach West, we got to dial it up, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Coach was right there with you when he
Man,
said
Coach coach was right there. I'm like, dang, Jacquez, you been. Well, I'm telling you what we're gonna do. I don't care. He literally said, I don't care because your coach standing there. So, I couldn't wait. Coach, we got to dial it in. So that was a big game. That was a big game. And you guys came over to Manatee High School, and you talked the talk, you walked it. You end up winning. When you get into the playoffs, how tough is it to get your kids prepared on the right track to?
Last year was weird. That game was weird because we played Riverview early in the year, and it was a tough defensive game. It was 21-14.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, we scored 21 points. They ain't gonna score that many. Then we get in the playoffs. It's a shootout. Like we going back and forth. They scoring, we scoring. I'm like, dang, defense usually don't give up no points like that. So it was different, and we couldn't really stop the run that night. They were just making the opportune plays when they made it, man. But I got a lot of respect for Coach when he do at Riverview. I think he get a lot of his kids. I don't think they like super duper talented over there, but they always a solid team. They always very competitive. They're gonna win 8 or 9 games every year. And we just came up short. I think that's just a part of taking the next step in the program. We went from 2 wins to a winning record. To 9 wins and losing second, third round of the playoffs. And they say you start out, you lose big, then you lose small, then you win small, then you start winning big. So I think we could be at the point this year where we start getting rid of people early in the game and winning big, hopefully.
See, and that's crazy too, because being that was your first year of coaching when you won 2 games.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm in the barbershop. But it was saying, but we gotta get Jacquez Green ass up out of here.
But that's,
you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, the Manatee faithful, because you gonna be up under Coach Kinnan Ghost until you win the state.
Can't nobody put more pressure on me than I put on myself.
There you go.
Like I'm competitive. I want to win. I get agitated when I don't win.
Yeah.
So nobody never put more pressure on me.
But then by him winning 2 games, like nowadays, these kids. All of them like free agents now. Yeah. They can go wherever they want. And by you winning 2 games and still keeping some of them kids, these kids be like, man, I gotta get out of here, man. We gonna win 2 games. But for you to come back that next year and to silence all the critics.
The kids believe in me over there.
Yeah.
They believe in me. I treat them well. And when you treat kids well, you can work the heck out of them. Because they trust you got the best interest of them. That particular year, I had no leadership in the upperclassmen, and I played a bunch of 10th graders who were little bitty 10th graders. They hadn't lifted none the year before because they didn't lift in the 9th grade because of COVID the year before. So they 10th graders who had never lifted weights. So we were small. We was a small team. We was an inexperienced team that year. So I didn't even tell the whole story because I didn't really know. I lost my defense coordinator. I didn't have a defense coordinator the whole year. I had lost 2 defense coordinators. I lost one with COVID. He had COVID for the second time. The first time he had was died. So the second time he was like, man, I'm done. I caught COVID again. I'm going back home. I lost my offensive line coach after the first game. He had COVID.
This your first year?
Yeah. I had no coaches. And I had that was Coach Conley first year coaching with me. Coach Price, that was his first year coaching with me. So it was just me and a bunch of new coaches. I was just trying to patch that thing together the first year. No, actually, I was just trying to get into the off season. I just need to get into the off season, hire me some coaches, and one of the better things that happened also was we got a new principal in Miss Scarborough. She was a coach. She was a principal that was willing to let me get coaches in the building. And if you can get coaches in the building, that's the best thing your program gonna have. You need coaches in the building around the kids all throughout the day. She gave me a chance to hire some hire some guys, get some coaches in the building, certified coaches that teach and stuff in the building. So I was able to go out and hire some defensive coaches and hire some more.
Crazy, you breaking that down. I was just talking to Mike, your coach Mike, Crazy Lee.
Barrett, Coach Barrett.
He was just in here this Friday, and I was just saying, I give all coaches so much respect. High school coaches and little league coaches, the stuff y'all got to deal with. But see, you got people that come to the game on Fridays. Yeah. But they don't know what y'all got going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. See, by him saying all that.
Yeah. It put things in perspective.
Friday, gonna be like, man, why they losing all them games? But see, they don't know all.
They never knew that. A lot of people, like the people within the program, knew what happened. But a lot of people, but I wasn't the one. I wasn't gonna be like, oh, we didn't win because this right here. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, we're gonna win. I'm not worried about that. Yeah. We're gonna win. I don't use no excuses. My old coach Spurrier always say, you are what your record says. And I was a 2-7 coach, and I say that like I was a 2-7 coach that year. I was a 6-4 coach last year, and I was a 9. I mean, the year before, after that, and last year I was a 9-3 coach. So you are what your record says. Spurrier always said, past success does not guarantee future success. I believe in that. Each team is different. I bet your most talented teams at Southeast did not win a state championship.
Yeah, you're right.
And that always happened. Right. That's how I always is. Like the most talented team, I'd rather even win state. Yeah. It's just the team that comes together, has the camaraderie, they love each other. You get all these guys. You got these guys, and they gonna go to college. They just good players. Yeah. They glue guys. Yeah. They gonna do their freaking job. Yeah. You got a bunch of guys like that. And you got to have 1 or 2 big time cats. Yeah. 1 or 2 big time cats that gonna make the difference plays in the big games. But that's what it is.
Well, this year coming into this year, I know it makes a good difference that your quarterback he's been have some years on his belt, right? Yeah. What are you looking forward to? What do you need out of him as a quarterback?
He's a natural leader. No, he's not a vocal rah-rah guy, but he works hard. He's gonna be first in line on sprints. He's gonna be first in workout. He gonna tear the weights up in the weight room. He's a good kid. He's tough. I can't run him much because he want to Tim Tebow everybody and stuff like that. He's just tough like that. He's going to Army. He's committed to Army to play football. He could go anywhere else and play quarterback. He's a natural passer, but he's an athlete. He can run. He can do all the other stuff. He can evade the pressure. He actually moved here from Colorado during his sophomore year. And we got him just because I made a good impression on another coach back at the Glazer Clinic back in the early 2000s. Okay. Wow. So his coach called me out the blue one day. He was like, man, we got a quarterback. He's pretty good for us last year as a freshman. He's thinking about moving down in your area. And he's like, I told him that he should go to your school because, me and him, I had met him years ago at a Glazer Clinic. And Andrew, next thing I know, he moves down here to the area, and he enrolled at Manatee. And I think his parents said they had visited down here a few times. We get a lot of guys who want to come here because their parents come down here for vacation a lot of times and see the area and like the area. Yeah. And I get a ton of coaches who call me like, man, I'm down in the area on vacation. They be trying to get their football itch. They're like, man, can I stop by the field and see y'all practice? I'd be like, you come over by the field. Yeah. But long story short, but that's how Andrew got here. Andrew's from he went to Ponderosa High School out in Colorado near Denver. Okay. And it was godsend, man, for him to come here, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that is godsend.
Yeah, he transferred here, man.
What's the outcome of this year, Coach? What are we trying to get accomplished? What is you got some guys that came in.
I want to win a state championship. That's my goal. Okay. That's the kids' goal. Districts and all the other stuff that's good. Districts not like districts were back in the day. Back in the day you get you 5-6 teams in the district. District was good. You win that, you're like, okay. Yeah. It was like going through an SEC schedule. It's not the same. Now you got 2 teams in the district. 3 teams in the district. Yeah. I want to win a state championship. I want to get a lot of kids in college. And I want my kids to be known as kids that respect the community, don't get in trouble, they behave around school. So my main thing is I want to win games and get kids in school.
One last question before we get into our next
I think
segment.
It's my duty to get kids in school. I hear some coaches, it ain't my duty to get kids in school. I'm like, what you mean? Your kids work out that hard for you. Why you can't work hard for them?
So that's an interesting point. Go ahead.
So, because I hear that a lot. So a head coach, is he the main source of getting those kids scholarships? Because
it's a puzzle, okay? Coach Conley does our recruiting, okay? He gonna blast out the kids on social media for us. He gonna call out the coaches and keep up with the camps and the workouts and all that kind of stuff. I'm somewhat of a closer. Like if he needs something really done, like call a big dog at 24/7 Sports or something like that, I'll come in and do that. Or if he not getting a hit back from a coach, I hit him up, he'll call me back and what have you. But the first thing in doing that is I always let the parents know I don't give out scholarships. So don't get mad at me. I don't give scholarships out.
Get mad at them coaches,
we don't give out scholarships.
They so blame y'all.
And so the next statement is, like I say, the best way you can get a scholarship is to have good grades, first of all, and put out good film. You are what you put on tape. You know, when you cut on the tape, that's you. That's the way you play. Don't say you had a bad night or this happened. That's the way you play. And so those are the first two things. And then after that, it's more so like if you got good grades, like we can find somewhere for you to play, like a smaller school or what have you. Because at the end of the day, it's about getting a degree. It's about getting a degree. It's about going to college and becoming a man and getting away from under your mama for a few years. And if you like it, stay away. If you don't like it, move back home. At least you get a chance to decide whether you like it or not. So my thing is, man, I just want to develop them guys and show them a way and show them like you can act the right way like me and not be considered lame, because sometimes they think anything good is lame now.
Yeah.
And so just they can relate to me though, like they can talk to me about anything. Coach, this right here happened, man. I couldn't get no ride, man. Coach, my mom and my dad had been getting into it. Coach, I ain't couldn't get no ride to school because my dad ain't And I understand that. Like I've had homeboys like that go through stuff like that. So the fact that I understand them and I could be like, man, you don't need to worry about adult stuff, man. Come on to practice, get away from that, stuff like that. Yeah. But at the same time, I see him moping, but I can also check on it, make sure y'all okay all the time. You all right, man? Everything going good at school? And I had one kid one time. He was basically I had like 2 or 3 kids basically homeless on our team. Homeless, nowhere to live. Like they're like the
But see, people don't know what y'all be going
and the administrators and people over the main building know we're going through. I'm like, you worrying about what he come to school? Do you realize he ain't even got nowhere to go every night? He homeless. So what I was doing, I was taking him to one of his friends' house, every day after practice, and he'll hit me. He'll be good after practice because he'll been on 8 and stuff like that. But on the weekend, he'll text me and I'll send him some money to get him some food and stuff like that. And there's been 2 or 3 different ones since I've been here. I ain't been here for 5 years. They homeless, man. Nowhere to live.
Before you ask the question, okay, we're going to stay on this recruit. Listen, tell me how you handle this. Say you got a player, Jacquez. He's a good athlete. I'm talking about, boy, he might be your best athlete. Yeah. But his attitude is just like, he don't listen.
I had to kick a guy off the
team.
team.
Might show up late. He just don't do what he's supposed to do, but he's that guy athletic-wise. And you got University of Florida seeing this kid at a camp, or University of Michigan or Georgia seeing him at camp and say, boy, I want to offer him. And then they find out he's at Manatee High School. Then they call you and ask you what kind of kid he is. Now, if you tell him he got a bad attitude, he don't listen, he might miss out on the chance to get a scholarship. How do you handle that?
This is a 2-part question for me. First of all, I can't mess up my kids who are behind him chance to get recruited because I told the coach a lie about him. If he's a bad person, he's a bad person. I'm not gonna never mess up my other guy's chance to get recruited because he's a bad person. And also, and I'll tell him why he's a bad person. I might be like, Coach, he got a lot of issues going on. He got a bad attitude. But at the same time, Coach, his mom this, his daddy that, and that's why you got to know the kids' parents and what they go through. He going through this right here. He ain't got no pops at the crib. He live with grandmama. Grandmama older. She can't really handle him. But he don't give us no issues at school. He act up when he go home. And so sometimes you'll just put it in the coach's court. Like I told y'all about him. If you still want to sign, that's on you.
Right.
But I'll let him know up front. I'm not gonna let him call me back like, man, I ain't recruiting none of the Manatee kids no more. All them kids we get from them, they be acting crazy. They transfer. They get kicked out of school. And at the same time, I had to put my star running back off the team that year. Went 2-7. He's our best. He probably knows now. He didn't play the rest of the year. And the reason was I didn't want those young guys on my team to see him acting that way and think that was gonna be cool to act that way. Right. And so he was being, very disrespectful to some of my assistant coaches. He was acting real crazy one night at the game, and he had been doing it on the regular. I'm easygoing. Yeah. I can deal with stuff, multiple times. But if you keep doing it, I'm just gonna get rid of you. And I'm not the type. I'm not arguing with you and all that. Yeah. And that's what hurt him, though, I guess. Because I'm not gonna be arguing with you and mad at you and looking crazy. I'm just gonna be like, you got to go. Yeah. You got to go. Your mom can call me and text me all you want, but you gone. I talked to her, but you're not coming back. Right. And so I had to put him off the team. I put him off the team at halftime or what? At that night of the game. I put him off the team that night of the game.
Right. See, people say, man, Coach Green, they're wrong for doing that.
No, he knew that.
Why would he tell a college coach that this kid got a bad attitude? he might go out there and change. I'm saying that's the kind of stuff you hear.
Right.
That's why I'm glad I asked him that because
You keep
that's the type of way I would approach the situation.
Yeah.
You keep enabling them kids, though, man.
Correct.
Yeah.
They gonna be terrible at the end of the day, man. You keep enabling them. You got guys do that. They enable these kids for these kids gonna play on their 7-on-7 teams and stuff like that, and keep making excuses for them. The reason why they act and I don't want to mention the kid name, but the kid who's at Colorado and went to Florida, and that come from cats been enabling him throughout his whole career playing football.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories about him back in high school, and I knew he wasn't gonna make it.
You know what I'm saying?
But I don't tell everybody all your sources and what's going on. Like the kid went to get a haircut didn't go to practice one day during the playoffs to go get a haircut. So that's a red flag right there.
Red flag.
Just like, and that was like consistently, kids come to school high.
Yeah.
Some coaches overlook it and like come to school high. It was always something about certain kids that you be like, he get to college, he not gonna make it. And Red, some guy like that.
Yeah.
You be like, he good as heck, but he ain't gonna make it.
He ain't gonna make it.
I was just talking to Real today, man.
He'll be gone after the semester.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Yeah, I was just talking to Real today about coaching. Remember? And I was telling Real, I said, I don't think I'll be a good coach because I'm too real. And
That's what they
being
need.
real is the wrong way to coach.
Cause they want to be their
These
friend.
days,
They want to be,
man.
but now you got the young dudes who want to be their friend and want to be
Yeah.
all up on their social media posts with them and all that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
They want to hear. They don't understand, man. You want to be respected more than you want them to be your friend. You want them to respect you. Like my kids respect me. I can bulljive with them and joke with them and stuff. And I say tighten up or let's go. They tighten up and let's go.
Yeah.
But you got to have that relationship with, because they know I care about them.
Right.
Like I care about what's going on in their life. I might text them at 9 o'clock. What you doing? Where y'all at? You know what I'm saying? What y'all doing? Like, y'all might be up to no good.
Yeah.
Where y'all headed? Cause we going to the beach. Y'all all going to that beach, don't y'all?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I hit them up. I check on my guys and see what's going on. Like I really care about what's going on with my players.
Yeah.
It's not like just coach speak like some coaches do.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. And this year I'm definitely looking forward to your team. You started off 2-7. You picked it up next year 8-3. You ended up 9-2 last year or something like that. And now you got a team that I would say with some pieces that don't came in. You're looking. I mean, I'm looking at a real strong team. Right? You got a quarterback that's been there, that's a veteran. You got some speedy wide receivers. You got some good bikes in the backfield. You got a nice tall tight end. Your defense is explosive. You added some linebackers from everywhere, coach.
So you got some linebackers from everywhere, coach.
So, coach, I mean,
what got Johnson and what Keenan? What
Kinnan.
Coach,
55.
I mean,
58?
you got to feel excited about this year and what's to look. If those guys can gel together, I think at this point, just making sure it's gel together, coach. That secondary need to stay intact a little bit. I think you can make a strong run, deep run into the playoffs.
I think we got a good team, though. We did some good things yesterday morning. We scrimmaged at Riverview, played real well over there. We went to FCA camp 2 weeks ago, which gives us a chance to put some pads on to hit somebody,
All right, the scrimmage game when? Yesterday?
Yesterday morning, we scrimmaged at Riverview at 9.
Oh, okay.
It was a referee scrimmage, but it gives us a chance to get out there and go full go.
Yeah.
Oh, but they doing some new stuff these days.
Yeah.
Before
They usually have one in the fall and one in the spring.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when it's for the referees to get their work. Yeah.
Oh, for the okay.
But they need teams out there, and so it gives us a chance to get live reps also.
Yeah.
So we went yesterday morning over there. It was good. We got a bunch of plays. And got I think it had 90-some plays on my on the huddle. I think overall we got a good team. We got the jail. We got some new guys that came in and figuring out how we do things over there. Some guys came from a program around here that they can do anything they want to. So I had to reel a few of them in and get them with the program, and they coming along. They just got to learn the way we do things, and luckily we got good leadership over there, and they see the way they do things, and they just fall in line.
Yeah.
We should have a good team. I think it's our best team I've had since I've been there.
Yeah.
As far as talent from top to bottom and depth and what have you. I always want to be strong on the offensive and defensive line. I always want to be fast at skill position players. When I first got here, we had a bunch of linemen. We didn't have many skill guys, and we were slow. We were slow as heck. And so now I think we've got the speed component up and the size component to match at the same time, which is, and that's what you want. You want to be a team that's got good size, that got guys that can score when they touch the football.
That's pretty real. We got Jacquez from Fort Valley, Georgia.
Yeah.
Down here coaching in Bradenton, man.
Yeah,
Manatee.
Way in Bradenton.
That's your fault, though, Rick. You had that boy on 33rd.
Way in
Back in
Bradenton.
the days, man.
Well, listen, man. Hey,
Real
well,
my guy, so
yeah.
I came down here,
Yeah,
man.
Came down here.
So, hey, Jacquez, before we go, listen
Yeah.
now. So, before you even got to Manatee, your name was already in high school coaching, like.
Yeah, they already been on.
So, Fort Valley, they ain't try to call you and be the head coach at your hometown?
Well, they had a guy who had been the coach at my high school since he just stopped last year. He had been the coach since I was in middle school. He was in since I was in high school. When I was in high school, he was the middle school coach. So he was the middle school coach. Then he was the defense coordinator. Then he became the head coach. He had been there a while. So he earned his time there. He worked through the whole system. He was the defense coordinator. We won a bunch of state championships. One went to the state championship game about 6-7 times around there. And he only been on 4 or 5 of them teams. He was a guy who had been in the system for a while. He finally retired last year. And basically in Georgia, once you retire, a lot of them go to private schools so they can double dip, which means they still get paid from the private school and they get their retirement from the public school.
Okay.
So a lot of them do that in Georgia. So he was doing that. He went to another high school, and they was in the process of hiring a coach. They ended up hiring Coach Westbrook. You remember Bebe? Played Florida.
Yeah.
Westbrook played Florida too. Yeah. Westbrook, the coach, had been at Warner Robins, winning state championships at Warner Robins.
What call him, Baby?
That was the nickname, man.
Where's the Baby?
Marquise Westbrook.
Yeah, he's doing well.
That was his nickname.
Yeah.
But he
Baby is a baby.
Yeah.
but that's his name growing up. He
Yeah,
from like
Baby.
he from like Cordia. I know you seen that on 75.
He doing good.
Yeah, but they hired him as a head coach. He was the first black head coach in history of our high school. So I was fine with that. I just didn't want to hire a few other people, but they said they're gonna hire him. I was like, okay, that's good. Yeah, I want to, he.
It's just so crazy. Boy.
No, we 90% black on our high school football team. Why we never had a black head coach, and we hired him. He's a good coach. He had to clean it up last year, and this year they've been looking good for him. I hear.
It's so crazy how life is, man.
Yeah.
When you got the urge to be a coach, you had no plan that you're gonna end up being in Manatee High School. That's crazy, man.
Just be
That
Lord.
stuff
That's how it
happens.
go, man.
Yeah, because I was talking to Rick earlier today. Sometimes plan B just hit you in the back of the head. You don't even plan for it.
You ever seen the Butterfly Effect?
Talking about it was
The movie about like if you change this particular thing in life, how to make everything else in your life change, and that's what it is, man. Like that day, Coach Shakir called me. What if I didn't take that call?
yeah.
Right.
I might just never even coach again or something like that. Just stuff like that.
Butterfly effect. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, we're gonna move into a segment that we have. We about to wrap this thing up. It's our version of Truth and Dare. We actually call this Truth and Share. And this is brought to us by one of our sponsors, Miss Selena G. Bradley.
Selena.
Your trusted expert in buying, selling, and also investing in real estate.
Yes, sir, boy.
Coach, I'm going to have my co-host ask you a question. Now, it's your job, Coach, to tell the truth, TROOF, and you going to share it because you don't got no chance. You ain't no dare. You just got to share it, Coach.
Yeah.
So I just got to tell the truth when he asked me a question.
That's all you got
I
to do.
tell the truth, man. I'm real. Like, I'm real.
Okay. Listen.
Real deal.
Coach, you good?
You was a high school star.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you was a college star at Florida. And most of the time, when you were a star in high school, you get all the girls want you. University of Florida.
I was shy in high school though.
Yeah, but they still want you now.
Still do.
Florida. All the girls wanted you at Florida. You was a star. You became an NFL football player. Listen.
Look at
Listen.
Go.
Who was your celebrity crush? Everybody had a celebrity female crush.
I don't know. Right as of right now, my celebrity crush is
Who was your first one then? Boy, was that one girl you had on your room wall, boy, at that Jet magazine? I know she was on that wall.
Man, probably like Holly Berry or something like that. You know everybody like Holly Berry back in the day.
man.
Yeah, Holly Berry. I always like women who were not on the scene a lot. Cute women not on the scene. Like now I'm like a Sanaa Lathan fan.
Yeah.
What's the little cute comedian girl with the little eyes that she used to be with Keenan Ivory and all them boys? I like her
You
too.
talking about
Yeah. Regina Hall,
Yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
type
Hey,
of
I
look
took
right
it
there.
for
Okay. Regina
Yeah.
Hall. All right.
I'm a big Sanaa Lathan fan. I was a big what's Will's wife's name?
Jada.
Oh,
They been acting crazy lately, though, man.
Yeah, real.
Like since way back, I like Jada. That's who it was. It was Jada back when what's the movie came out a long time ago?
Juice? I mean,
No.
Miss Society.
No, she went on there.
She was with
Jada was on Menace Society.
yeah, she was. She was the girlfriend to the man who was in prison, and she ended up messing with his little Kane. Yeah,
What about the
Kane.
movie- what
that's
about-
what it was. It was
Right.
What
Jada.
about the movie
It was-
her
Jada.
and Tupac was on?
That was Janet Jackson.
That was Janet
Oh, Janet
Jackson.
Jackson?
Yeah,
Talking
that was
about
Janet
poetic
Jackson.
It was her. It was her. It was her.
Janet, so
You know what?
Jada Smith.
It was-
so Jada Smith.
Yeah, it was Jada. It was Jada.
So you know what he like?
What that?
He like no red bone. That boy ain't say nobody dog, boy.
You ain't lying. I caught that.
That boy red bone.
No,
right
not
there.
red. Though I like him like a fair skin, like a caramel color.
Boy, you
Okay.
named one girl that was fair. Boy, them red
Regina
bone.
Hall not red.
No, Regina probably your darkest one.
Yeah, it's about dark.
All right, Desiree, what you got for?
What's the biggest misconception about you?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions is me playing for Spurs. Everybody think I just want to throw the ball all over the field. When actually I like to run the ball until I see your defense bleed out there. I like to physically impose our will on people. And also, working at Manatee, you get a lot of people who think they can't approach you or can't, say stuff to you because you've done this and done that. But I'm a people person. I'm approachable. If you got an issue, you can come to me and talk to me about it. You don't have to, go behind my back and go all over the other places and talk about it. Like you can address me with it. I'm not an angry black man, so to speak.
Okay. All right. Coach, did that explain the reason why you guys not got there Wildcat and ran that big boy down Palmetto back?
I was part of
Over
that,
and
man.
over and over again, Coach.
Coach, our biggest wins since I've been here, we pound the ball. Both times we beat Venice, we lined up and ran the football straight down the hill at them. That was a big game last year against Palmetto. We knew we had to run the ball to win the game, and we're trying to limit the offense on the field. We know they were going to throw it around the field a lot. The best thing for a team that's explosive is to make the team sit on the sideline and watch the game. And so we just tried to pound the ball and run the ball against them.
Good point. Last one, Coach. You got to choose a wide receiver group, Coach. Which one would you want to start, play, or install into Manatee High School? I just say this is a wish list. Coach, you got Alabama, Jared Judy, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, Jaden Waddle. You got Florida Gators, Chris Doran, Ike Hilliard, Riedel Anthony, Jacquez Green.
Ooh, Lord.
You got Florida State, E.G. Green, Lavernus Coles, Randy Moss, Peter Ward.
Got to be more.
Which one would you pick, Coach, and why?
Ooh.
I would pick evidently my guy.
Clearly.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that makes sense.
But I'll even go up a year after that one right there when it was me, Ike, and Riedel the next year. No, people don't realize that year we was first, second, and third in the conference in touchdown catches that year. It was 18-9-9, so it was like 30-something touchdown catches between three guys. But the receiving core I really liked more than all those guys was I was a big fan of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson that year at LSU. They were doing the gritty and they were scoring touchdowns on people. And it just looked fun that year. They remind me of like back in the day, Miami, Florida State. When you're catching touchdowns and you're having fun and the whole city loving it. So I like them boys. That Alabama squad was tough too. And Peter Odom were good too.
That's awesome, man.
I think Clemson don't have some guys too. I think T. Higgins and all them boys in the same team
they
one
were
year.
Good, they were good. Some good recording, man.
Yeah, it was though.
All right, well, Coach, man. Listen, we appreciate your time, man. We had a good time.
Absolutely.
Every time we leave, man, we always get some shout outs. So Green, you got any shout outs before we leave, big dog?
Man, I just want to shout out everybody in the 941, man. I hope everybody have, all the kids, have a great school year. Everybody go to school this year, man, with your head up, chest out, and make them good grades, baby.
All right. Desiree, you got a shout out, man?
Yep, and do. So, no, personal one. So, Coach Green, my son, had the, privilege to play under his leadership. So just thank you for what you did over the years with Christian. Angela White, right hand guy here with me. Coach Conley. As y'all know, I dropped the kid off to school, so he was able to, get out of Manatee and get a scholarship to Elwood Water. So, thank you for, like you said, everything you said. I can attest to the relationship you have with the boys. They trust you. If they need anything, they're gonna call you. And they know. Even now, Christian said, he's like, yeah, I'll hit up Green. So
yeah, he was over there complaining. He was over there complaining about the workout the other day. He said, boy, you in college now. I saw you. We don't have time for nothing. You in college, man.
Hey.
That's what he said. He said, we don't have time for nothing.
Coach, don't put my baby business out there. We're not doing that. But but thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing, I said, from this past graduating class, 2024, up ahead, you're guaranteed to have a state championship somewhere in there because you have some great talent at the school. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I want to give a shout out to this is gonna be in house too, Desiree. I want to give a shout out to you for finally drawing up them tear ducts. And now she's no longer crying, people. She had to drop her son off, and she was crying every day for each intervals of 10 minutes each. And I'm so happy to see that your face. Even though you got some eyeshadow on right now, but I'm so happy to see that you're getting adjusted.
Thank you.
You did a job with your young man and getting him into school. For a single mom, man, to do what you did, I applaud you, and I'm giving a huge shout out to you. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Coach Green, you got a shout out, baby?
I want to shout out everybody at Manatee High School. Everybody at Manatee to make my job run smooth. My coaching staff, they do such a tremendous job. Do a great job with the kids. I like shout out my kids who believe in what I'm doing, who trust what I'm doing. They play hard each Friday night for us, and just everybody in the Manatee community. It's kind of cool to have a stadium that's located right in the community, and people really love and take pride in what we have over there, and how the people really accept me in, even though I'm not from this county. So I'm just appreciative of all that.
Good, man. Well, listen, man, I'm looking forward to this upcoming season from all the high school programs around here. Coaches, to you, man, I wish you guys well. Wish you win every game this year. I don't think you got Cart and Moon on your schedule, so, Coach, I'm wishing you well every single game this year, Coach. Hey, Coach. But,
hey, Green, when I first ran to him right here, I said, Reggie, what your son doing at Palmetto, man? You went to Southeast. All his friends went to Palmetto.
You want to say y'all play Southeast this year?
Yeah, we got them early,
they got us.
Second game.
Week 2? Second game.
Game.
Everybody know us except me. Yeah, week 2.
You just show up.
Well, listen, man. Let's go ahead and close this thing out. Green, thank you so much, brother.
Yes,
Desiree, Coach Green again. Hey, if you guys tuned in, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you be a part of us. Hit that bell so you don't miss any of the episodes, just in case you're not paying attention.
2,000 subscribers, man. Yeah. Let's do this, y'all.
And we out.
We out.
Truth, really, that's all we know. Keep it real and authentic. This truth be told, only the truth. Tune in, cause you gotta watch. It's like you with us while we kick it in the barbershop. Here to motivate and inspire. Hosted by the real deal and the God Barber. I hope that you ready, keep it funny and edgy. Let's go. You already know. Truth be told, let's go.